Hey, good morning. Good morning. Great day, man. Week four in the league where they pay for play. And this morning we're a little late, but we're not late according to us because we both had things to do this morning. And it's a great day, man. Great day for the NFL, and you can see it from Dwayne's beautiful West Michigan Broncos sweatshirt that we are definitely in football weather. So what's up, Wayne?
It's hoodie season. Uh, Wearing this sweatshirt in honor of Union's own Jamari Bogan, was named the Michigan Alumnus of the Year. It was actually presented to the home crowd last night during the Western Michigan versus New Hampshire football game. So, we're always proud of 3-2. He's continuing to do big things, more than just football. And he's making a definite impact in the city of Kalamazoo, man. So we're
And he
proud of him.
was he was also honored by the Chamber of Commerce, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big,
Yeah.
big month for him. He has a groundbreaking for Bogan Developments, which is a company that he runs. They will be breaking down ground on a multi-use development in the city of Kalamazoo, housing as well as daycare. So doing big things, man. So we honor you, 3-2.
Yeah, so if it's anybody out there that's looking to invest in some property in the Kalamazoo, Michigan area, seek him out. Sometimes when you hear about a young man, and then you always say, "Dang, is their reputation this good?" Everybody always speaks highly of him, and everything that I've heard about him from everybody, has always been good things, and it's a proud moment, like you said, Dwayne, because I know you coached him as a youth football coach, and to see him evolve into this great young man and beautiful family is a great thing, and like you said, we should always be proud when someone we know um, starts fulfilling and living their dreams, and that
Absolutely.
that and that will segue into as football fans, as kids, as football fans, we always know about the downside of the game. And the downside of the game is always the health. And everybody that watches football, Dwayne, seen what happened Thursday. What was that?
Well, first of all, it happened a week ago when they tried to lie to us and tell us that this man had a back injury. And anybody with two eyes could see that he was concussed on Sunday. So, with that being said, if it was a normal week for him and the game was played today, he shouldn't play in it. So, we darn well know he shouldn't have played on Thursday night, man. This man had two concussions in the span of 4 days, man. And the whole system failed him. Not just the Miami Dolphins, not just the independent doctor who got fired yesterday by the NFLPA. This starts with Goodell all the way down to ball boys, man. Like, we got these protocols in place, right? We got this eye in the sky that's supposed to be looking out for situations like this. And NFL better be very careful. I love football. Everyone knows this. But they better be very careful because no game is worth the health of a man. And we should not see Tua until at least November. If he comes back in October, there's a fundamental lapse in judgment and in the way that the NFL is protecting these players.
One of the things that I always try to keep in perspective, and I always try to say is, it's very hard to assess certain situations and be objective and do the right thing when it comes to money. It takes a serious amount of integrity to basically hurt your pocket. The NFL generates so much money for themselves, for this country. It literally is the fabric of what makes America America. And when you're dealing with money, you're dealing with gambling, you're dealing with so many moving parts with players that I think that in order for somebody to stand on integrity and say, like, no, he can't play, it affects so many people's lives that the number one priority, like you always say, is we got to worry about these players and their long term health. And one of the things that I've seen this week, when I saw Rod Ninkovich and I seen how distraught he was, even to talk about it, and I'm quite sure in his pre-production he was as well as emotional, and then to do it on camera, knowing that basically he retired and he was still a good player. He retired because he thought about his long-term health. CTE is still something that we don't really know about because you can't test for it till after the individual moves on. So, prayers for Tua, his family, his little brother who plays football. Let's hope, hopefully, he doesn't have any permanent damage, and whether he decides to continue playing football again, Tua, make the best decision that you think is for you. Because at the end of the day, like Rod Ninkovich said, your coach, the fans, nobody's going to be there for you but your family and your close friends and your loved ones, man, if you have to struggle with getting through. So, with that, we're going to talk about the NFL. Good game going on right now. Minnesota and the Saints. I'm very disappointed in the Saints, Dwayne. I picked them as my preseason team because of all this talent they have.
Let's just take a moment, man, because somebody in that game right now is being carted off the field, helmet, face mask removed, and they just carted number 6 of the Vikings off the field. So we've been seeing a lot of that, man. High school, college, and today there's an NFL game. So hopefully he gets healthy, man. This first quarter's almost over. The Vikings lead 7-0. They're in Seattle. Very impressed with Madison for the Vikings so far. First time I'm really getting an opportunity to see him play, and I kind of like the young man. Nice compliment to Dalvin Cook. The Red Rifle, one of the favorites of mine, Andy Dalton, is out there for the Saints today, and they're in London. Shout out to King Charles, and I hope he got that pin situation rectified because first time ever he was talking about a bloody pin. Say over there in London, man. So, but I like the Saints in this one, even though they're down 7-0. I'm going with the Red Rifle because Kirk Cousins go to Kirk Cousins and he just threw a pick. So,
Well, he's literally gonna do what he do. Dwayne, it's amazing how loaded the Saints are. They're missing a lot of players today, but and it's gonna segue. It segues into all the other games because I have this week being a major upset or surprise picks this week. I said to myself, I said, me and Dwayne didn't conversate yesterday about what I think about this week. I said, but I know I'm going to surprise the heck out of him with some of these picks. But I'm gonna pick the Saints too. I'm just really disappointed in them. They just got, in my opinion, they just got so much talent. Get Chris Olave the ball.
yeah, man. Yeah, hopefully Michael Thomas, man, he just can't stay healthy, it seems, here lately. So we're into one there. So a 1 o'clock game on Fox. You got the 1-2 Washington Commanders going down to play their biggest rival in Dallas today. Cowboys are 2-1. Just a little tidbit for everybody. We always try to give people tidbits. With a victory today, if this team is able to accomplish that, Cooper Rush will do what no Dallas Cowboy quarterback has done in the history of this program, and that start his career off 4-0. So it's a chance for Cooper Rush to move 4-0 in his career. Carson Wentz, we got to be careful on this one. Dallas is a field goal favorite. I get it. Carson Wentz had a rough week last week against that Eagles defensive front. And we'll see what the Cowboys defensive front does with them. I think this game is going to be exactly how Vegas has it. I think this is a field goal game. But I'm going to I'm going to feel the rush. I'm going to stick with Cooper to still get it done. I do not like the Washington Commanders secondary. So if our offensive line gives us time, I believe, I don't have official word yet. I've been checking Twitter all day. But I believe Michael Gallup will be making his season debut today. So my boy JB and his family's down there in AT&T Stadium had a great tour yesterday. So I hope the Cowboys go ahead and get a win, and my family get to see a win.
Well, this is a very interesting game. Division rival is always tough, no matter who you root for. When you play a division, it's always tough. And most Cowboy fans that understand the history of the franchise know they do not like the Washington football team. It's considered the first game ever that they played against the Commanders, but it's actually the 174th meeting. This week, I really did some interesting studying on the Washington football team, and I could
Command,
understand the frustration to be a
command,
Washington fan.
Commanders, sir.
Commanders, um, five number one draft picks on the defensive side of the football. We know Chase isn't playing, but one thing about the NFL is you need 11 guys to work in unison and chemistry. And I don't know. A lot of people will blame the owner. I don't understand. Ron Rivera is a coach that me and you both like. I don't know what's wrong with their team, even though they're 1-2. You would think they was 0-3 because the Jaguars had them on the ropes, and the Jaguars just turned out to be a better football team. So with that, I just think it's the bad. This is what you call bad timing. Bad teams playing at the teams. Sometimes in football, when you have a weakness, you can play a team that has that strength, and it's just bad timing. Their weakness is their offensive line, and they got interesting. Nick Martin, the brother of Zach Martin, is going to start at center, and their line has no chemistry, and they're going against a defensive line that let's face it, the Dallas Cowboys defense is putting so much pressure on these quarterbacks that if you think you're going to have a 5-step or 7-step drop without max protection, your quarterback's going to get hit. And Carson Wentz is the type of quarterback that once he gets hit or touched, he likes to give up the football. He makes bad decisions. He actually, which is crazy, Carson Wentz is more accurate throwing a deep ball than he is for the intermediary route. So I think Carson's going to Carson. Going to be a tough game. Going to be a nail biter unless the Cowboys offense just and defense and special teams jumps on early. I think the Cowboys win all three phases of the game, though. I think the Cowboys win by 7.
Okay. Next up, you have the Cleveland Browns traveling to Atlanta. 2-1 Browns, 1-2 Falcons. Browns is a 1-point favorite. Not gonna spend too much time on this. I like the Browns to win today. Jacoby Brissett to keep things rolling till Deshaun comes back. So I like the Browns and field goal between a field goal to touchdown game.
Yeah, I like the Browns too. The Browns is one of them teams. Stefanski. I just want to say that I watched the way that he coaches. One thing about him is that he tries to coach his strength, running that football, having those two good backs, Chubb and Hunt, do what they do, throw his play action. So I do think the Browns are going to miss a little something with not having Garrett there. So it could be interesting, but I'm going to pick the Browns to win this game.
Wow, that was a nice throw by the Red Rifle there. I'm sorry. That was a good little out route he just threw. All right. The battle of 1 and 2 teams on Fox. The Seattle Seahawks traveled to Detroit to take on the Lions. Lions are 3.5-point favorites. All week I was on the Lions. All week was big on the Lions. They're just too beat up, man. They're just missing too many people. More people added to the injury list and being out. So I don't know how Jared Goff's going to do offensively. He's missing a lot of weapons. No Swift, no St. Brown, none of those. I believe there's another wide receiver that's out. So with that said, I like Geno Smith and the Seahawks to come into Detroit and win this game. Like I said earlier in the week, I was a heavy Detroit lean, but they're just a little too beat up. So I'm gonna go with Seattle.
I'm gonna go the opposite way, and I'm gonna just mess with you a little bit with this. This will be the game where Aiden Hutchinson gets his touchdown, strip sack, fumble recovery touchdown. Aiden Hutchinson. I'm gonna pick Detroit in a close one. We're talking about ugly 13-9 type of game.
Yeah, this got 9-6 written all over it. All right. two teams that have kind of underperformed this year so far, in my opinion. You have the 1-2 Tennessee Titans traveling to Indianapolis to take on the 1-1 Colts. Colts are 3.5 point favorites. The Titans are better than their 1-2 record indicates. I don't think this line is big enough. Believe me, I think the line should go the other way, I should say. I'm surprised that the Colts are in the 3.5 point favorite in this one. I'm gonna take the Titans outright.
I'm worried about the Titans. I think that the Titans. I think that this is a must-win game for them. I think this is their playoffs. I think they. And I know it sounds crazy with 17 game season. You always look at the first quarter of the season and realize that it's hard to turn it around. I think their division is a lot better than people expected. I think that it's crazy it may seem that the best team in the division is the Jacksonville Jaguars, record wise, and when you look at health and what's going on with their program. It's a big game for both teams. I'm gonna pick Tennessee because Matt Ryan. I think he just might be gone. He might be done. I don't think he's been much of an improvement over Carson. And most people would have thought he was a better quarterback than Carson Wentz. I just don't see it. They don't lean. They don't lean on their run game enough, and I just think that Tennessee is going to want it more.
Okay, next up we have the Chicago Bears traveling to MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Giants. The Giants are 2-1. The Bears are 2-1. Giants are a 3 point favorite. I kind of feel bad for Justin Fields, man. Like, he's only been playing in bad weather, man. It seems like all season, bad weather. So today in Jersey, it's raining. It's going to be raining for the next several hours. So I believe the forecast still shows like heavy rain at like kickoff time, looking at the radar as I did this morning. So with this type of weather and Justin Fields still being a fairly young quarterback, I think the Giants, who are beat up in their receiving core, feel bad for Sterling Shepard. I think Kenny Galladay finally gets on track today as a New York wide receiver, and I like the Giants to beat the Bears today and improve to 3-1.
Another game that just is the right game, the right team at the wrong time. I think that Chicago is in the middle of a tough stretch for the Giants. I think this is probably one of the easier games for the Giants to have all year, definitely at home. Excuse me. I just don't think Chicago has what it takes to win this game. You're going to need two rushers. I don't know if Quinn is going to try to go against Evan Neal or not. I don't know if he'll go to that side, but I'm gonna pick the Giants in a close one. But don't let Chicago breathe life into their program and their passing game.
What did you say to me pre-production today? You mentioned the name to me pre-production today. Do you remember?
I can't remember offhand.
Well, he just caught a touchdown.
Chris Olave?
Yes. Chris Olave touchdown for the Red Rifle. You mentioned it earlier today. I had to give you that shout out.
No, I'm gonna just say about Chris Olave. When we did our pre-draft stuff, we were talking, having a lot of conversations. My partner, my friend, my brother Dwayne told me, he said, watch Chris Olave coming out of Ohio State. He's really good. And I've started following him, and he is one of the main reasons why I picked the Saints to have this great year, because he's the third receiver on this team. Now he's been elevated, and this could be some whispers from Michael Thomas could go if Chris Olave starts popping.
Yes, and he looks very nice in them black helmets today.
Yeah.
So Bears Giants.
Oh yeah, the Commanders have had their black uniforms on the day too.
I know it's gonna be nice. We'll see. I like their uniforms, even though I can't stand the team. So the last of the unbeatens, the Philadelphia Eagles, 3-0, host their former Super Bowl winning coach Doug Peterson and the 2-1 Jaguars. Again, this is going to be another game where weather will be an issue. It's 1 o'clock. The Eagles are a 6.5 point favorite. And when it comes to this game, taking the Jaguars outright.
Dwayne,
Outright. Taking
Dwayne,
Jacksonville and the revenge of Dougie P. Philly special
Dwayne,
Jaguar.
one of the biggest things that I always try to say about the Eagles is I try to be honest. The Eagles' first quarter, every first quarter that I watch them, you can always tell how they gonna play. When the Eagles come out real aggressive in the first quarter and they jumping on you and they got that crowd behind them, you're not beating that track meet. You're not gonna beat them like that. If the Eagles are struggling in the beginning, fail to want to run the football, turning the ball over, that's when you got them. And I'll just say this, that most Philly fans do respect Doug Peterson. Um, I think I think the league is going to be surprised how good Jacksonville really is, how good Sunshine really is. This kid, I know everybody talks about the Justin Herbert and all these young quarterbacks. He's of them. Lawrence is of them, and people are going to see today. I got Jacksonville outright as well.
Yes.
I think the Eagles are looking ahead. Everybody's been, the press clippings, the player of the month, defensive player of the month.
Yeah. Yeah, Philly fans think I'm hating with this pick. I am. It's a pure hate pick.
Somebody gave us a site for football games, Dwayne.
I said it. Well,
you heard me?
Sure, it's a football
Somebody
site.
said watch every NFL game live on TV, NFLPassTV.com.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Your system will get hacked. Man. I don't know where this bot came from. But don't do it. Watch it on regular TV, folks. All right. The New York Jets, led by Zach Wilson, makes his debut this season. 1-2. They face the 1-2 Steelers at Heinz Field. Ooh, it's not Heinz Field anymore. I think it's called something else.
It's still Heinz Field. They did another deal where the stadium is named something, but the field is named Heinz Field.
Okay, so it's still Ketchup Field. Okay.
Yeah.
The Steelers are 3-point favorites. I like the Steelers, right? I like Kenny Pickett coming in the fourth quarter and leading the Pittsburgh Steelers on a comeback victory, and then he never gives the job back to Mitch Trubisky. Ocean Township, New Jersey's own Pitt Panther, now Pitt Steeler, Kenny Pickett ascends to the number one quarterback job today in Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna go the other way. What I seen with the Steelers, like you've seen it because you would have never mentioned Pickett. Their offense is just not good. The defense is the defense doing what they do. I think that Zach Wilson brings some life into them Jets receivers. The Jets quietly have a good team, which they just need to get out of that quicksand that they're in. I think the Jets might eke them out 2017.
Okay. Brother Walker, I couldn't answer the phone. We doing the show, man. I know, man. You probably home getting ready to watch Dallas, Washington. But we'll call you after the show, Brother Walker. Okay. Buffalo Bills, 2-1. Baltimore Ravens, 2-1. 1 o'clock on CBS. Listen, if there was one game I could watch today, this will be this game. I think it's going to be an old-fashioned slobber knocker. Okay, I think the Buffalo Bills are 3-point favorites. I like Buffalo to bounce back off of the disappointing loss last week to the Miami Dolphins. Both of these teams' losses have come to the Miami Dolphins. I like Josh Allen today. I like Josh Allen on the road. It's probably, again, it's a broken record, but there's a lot of rain, a lot of remnants of Hurricane Ivan. And on that note, we just pray for everyone who has been affected by Hurricane Ivan. I'm sorry. I keep calling it Hurricane Ivan because I'm thinking of my friend that lives down there. It's Hurricane Ian. And we're praying for Ivan and his family, and we're praying for everybody in Florida and everyone on up the coast that have been affected by this. And today in the Northeast, we're getting the remnants of it with the rain. So everybody stay safe and stay indoors if you can, and get you a soda pop and a hoagie We call it subs, but in the area I am, they call it hoagies, just like they call it pork roll instead of tail of ham. But you know what I'm saying. I like Buffalo today, man. I like Buffalo to go down to Baltimore and win that one.
The thing about it is I have to pick the team that I think has the better defense, and that's Buffalo. Even though Buffalo's defense is built beat up, I think that with having Vaughn Miller, I think it makes a little bit of difference with trying to slow down um, Lamar. Just I'm just gonna say, if you like receivers and you like pass catchers, Diggs and Mark Andrews today are unstoppable on either end. It's going to be interesting what happens. I just think Buffalo bounces back. The Buffalo is teetering though. They have some major injuries. Guys, Micah Hyde is done for the season. Baltimore, the role that Lamar has been on as a quarterback this year is incredible. So I think he comes down a little bit, struggles a little bit this game, and I think I'm gonna pick Buffalo.
Okay, that's wonderful. All right, our last 1 o'clock game is the Raising Canaan Snooze Fest special. The Los Angeles Chargers at 1-2 going to Texas to face the 0-2-1 Houston Texans. The Chargers are 6-point favorite, and I don't think Justin Herbert should be playing, folks. I really don't think he should be. They're going to continue to roll him out there. I think it's a big mistake for Brandon Staley, and I think this is the last we see of Brandon Staley as the head coach of Los Angeles Chargers. I do not believe you see him as the head coach of the Chargers in the 2023 season. Poor Lovey. Don't have a lot to work with. I'm going to go with Los Angeles to beat Houston. Big. Probably by like 10 points.
Moving right along, Chargers.
Moving right along. Wow. Okay. 4 o'clock action. The battle of 1 and 2s. Kyler Murray leads the Arizona Cardinals into the Queen City of Charlotte. 4:05 start. Baker Mayfield and the Chargers. Baker Mayfield and the Chargers. Baker Mayfield and the Panthers are 1-point favorites. I'm going to take Mighty Mouse himself, Kyler Murray, and the Cardinals to win this one outright.
It's certain teams that I just don't like. I don't know what it is, and there's certain players I just don't like. Even though I'm a big, um, I like a couple players on their team, Buda Baker, to the linebackers from Arizona, but I'm gonna pick Carolina. I think Matt Rule is gonna let people know that he ain't dead yet. Like Matt Rule is gonna pull some out of his head. I know they're chirping heavy for Matt Rule. I mean, it's almost an epic failure. I don't think that he is as bad of a coach that people try to make him out to be. I think he just needs to establish an identity, run the football, heavy play action. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna pick Carolina this week.
Okay, well, I think Matt Rule, who I'm a big fan of Matt Rule, I think he is going to establish an identity. And I think that his identity is going to be, ooh, facts of life. I like it. So I do believe he's going to establish an identity. And I think that identity will be War Eagles. War Eagle. Meaning, I think Matt Rule will be the next head coach of Auburn University. But that's for another day. We move on in 4 o'clock action. 425, the Brian Hoyer led New England Patriots going to Green Bay to face the Packers. The Packers are a 9.5-point favorite. I think the Patriots to win this game needs to get like 20 points from them.
Is that official that Jones is not playing?
Jones ain't playing? Yeah, no, he ain't playing, man. This is a Brian Hoyer led New England Patriots. Okay? Packers win this one 24-10.
I think the Packers struggle this game, which is crazy. I saw something. Green Bay has a hell of a defense. People may not realize it. But I think they're gonna win. I think they're just gonna have a. I think they're gonna. I think New England's gonna do what New England's do. They realize they don't have no offense. They're gonna try to slow the game down and run the clock. I think they'll win by 7.
It's a 425 game, which is the last game in the 4 o'clock hour. I cannot remember a time. I'm not saying, listen, I'm going to say it again slowly. I cannot remember a time where an 0-3 team is favored over a 2-1 team. And the Las Vegas Raiders are a 2.5 point favorite over the 2-1 Denver Broncos. Russ will not be allowed to cook once again. I think Derek Carr and Devontae Adams lead the Raiders to their first victory of this season. So I like the Raiders to move to 1-3. I like them to beat the Broncos at home.
If the Raiders don't jump on them early, it's gonna get real tight. It's gonna get a lot of chirping in that stadium about that coach and what he's trying to do, and not get. They got to get Devontae Adams the ball early and often. Just even if you did, just do a smoke screen, end around something. Same thing. I feel like that Dallas is going to do with Gallup. First play of the game, just throwing the football, whether it's deep or something short. You got to get these guys' feet wet. You got to get them going. Um, Denver has a very good defense too, very peculiar defense. But I'm gonna pick the Raiders home team. I know it's funny. Everybody thought the AFC West was going to be this juggernaut division. Slow down, folks. This is a game that has to be played. It's not, even though we enjoy talking about it, the game has to be played. The AFC West ain't what people thought it was going to be. So with that, I'm gonna still pick the Raiders. And Denver, just for them to be 2-1, they just don't look good.
Yeah, they don't. And so the last game on this week 4 of the NFL, yeah, week 4 already, man. In regular times, the first quarter of the season would be over, but now we play a 17-game season. Kansas City Chiefs head to Tampa Bay on Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football. Again, prayers up to the people in Tampa. Um, kind of surprised that this game is being played there. I thought it would be moved. The Bucks are a 1 point favorite in this game, but I'm gonna go with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to beat Tampa Bay tonight.
I'm gonna go the other way. I'm really impressed with Tampa Bay's defense. Usually Todd would have his defense struggle in the beginning of the year, and then they usually catch on towards the end. Um, wouldn't mind seeing Kansas City winning. Personally, I just think this is just a rough spot from Patty McHolmes. One thing that I want to say is that I don't care who you are as a quarterback. I saw something very interesting this week, and I want to give the shout out is going to be to the Pivot podcast. And I saw a very interesting pivot this week with Byron Leftwich, and he was talking about Tom Brady. As accomplished as Tom Brady is, championships, MVPs, arguably one of the best players. If you listen to Byron Leftwich, he's basically telling you that this man wants to be coached. And what I mean by the reason why I'm bringing this up and into this part of the show is these players want to be coached, they want to be protected. The NFL has went towards more a passing league. And if you notice, scoring is way down this year because these quarterbacks are getting their heads knocked off. Protect your quarterback at all costs. Your quarterback is the biggest asset on your team. If you protect your quarterback, the rest of your offense will run smoothly. If you don't protect them, they're in trouble. With that being said, I'm gonna just say I wouldn't mind seeing the Chiefs win, but I want Tampa. I think Tampa win by 3.
Well, here we are, man. Week 4, and that season moves fast. There's no other professional season that moves as fast as the NFL, and there's some great things in store for us on this Sunday, as there always are. And we just hope as many players stay safe and get out of these games safe today. Unfortunately, we saw a pretty bad injury in the first game, and we pray for that player that got carted off over there in London. And we pray for the safety and health of every player. Hope Miles Garrett continues to heal up. He won't play today due to the single car accident he had. And if you look at the damage of that vehicle, we're just very happy that Miles Garrett is able to walk and do the things that he normally does, other than playing on Sunday, because that could have gone a different way. So it's a game. We love the game, but we have to always remember these players are out here, man. They're like gladiators and they're out here for our entertainment. Sure, they make a lot of money, but they have to sacrifice a lot with their mind, their body, and their soul. And I, for one, am thankful for the men that put those uniforms on and gives it their all each and every Sunday for the fans.
My partner summed it up. Enjoy your football. Enjoy this weather. Um, you know, and don't allow. Tyrone just checked in, and don't allow these stores. And this is a funny note. Don't allow these stores to sell you guys wing portions and say they're wings. Wings is the flat and the drumstick and the end.
It is.
It's the whole thing. They're selling wing portions, telling people they're selling wings. With that, y'all gonna know why I'm saying it one of these days. They're getting over on us as consumers. With that, enjoy your football and great Sunday, everybody.